time?
I did.
I like that. It's just like a tingle hat. Never repeat a hat.
Never repeat a hat. Hey! Are you done? Oh, it's okay. Hey, welcome back to Barely a Podcast. You did the introduction last week, so I thought I'd do it this week.
That's good. It was good. Was that it?
Nope. So this week we are talking about episode 3 of The Last of Us. Maybe some other stuff, but episode 2. What's up, man?
Nothing. Thanks for... I don't think I said thank you. Thank you for... Well, you were going to pick me up and then you jumped my car.
Right, because your car didn't start today.
Yeah, I need a new... Much like The Last of Us, I need a new car battery.
That's why you did it. It's funny, I was...
Nope.
I was very, no problem to pick you up. And on the way to pick you up, it then just registered, and I'm like, I gotta drop him off. Son of a bitch. and then it seemed like a chore. But then we jumped your car because you're a man and you know how to use jumper cables.
Yeah.
I do too.
Which one's the negative?
First topic of the day! So Last of Us Season 1, Episode 3. Favorite episodes so far?
Yeah.
So good! Completely what I wasn't expecting.
Oh, no.
It was just like it was like a new show.
Yeah.
It was so good.
I loved it. I see you have a list. So what's the first bullet point?
I don't know if this is annoying or not, but
it's not. I like it. It helps structure because I meant to do that this time around and I didn't.
Let me turn that off.
Yeah.
It's tradition.
It's tradition. If I was a rich man, don't scat.
I was doing.
Is it Tradition a song from that musical? Tradition.
Yeah. Tradition.
Okay. I just want to make sure I wasn't...
Tradition! Yeah. Before we get into the episode, let's talk about...
our sponsors.
The cocktail of the week and your drink of the week. Gin, a mule made with gin instead of vodka. It's very good.
It's called a gin?
Gin, because of the gin.
Yeah.
And then ginger beer.
Oh.
Gin. 6 out of 10 mics.
This is Rain Inferno.
Why?
It's not finished. It's Rain Inferno Watermelon Warlord, which I did not know. That sounds fucking badass.
Can't they just call it watermelon? It's Watermelon Warlord.
Yeah.
That's a bit much.
Well, because Jolly Rancher has the copyrights to watermelon. I'm sure you didn't know that.
Episode 3, The Last of Us.
Hold on.
Continue.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 Dannies?
7 out of 10 Dannies. This is not my first go around. I've gotten this one quite a bit. It's an energy drink, and it's put out by Rain. It's very good. You can.
It's very.
Hold on.
My bad.
The hints of watermelon don't suffocate the hints of Warlord, which is nice. And my fatigue has been reduced. Concentration has been increased. My metabolism has accelerated.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy Friday.
Call me Warlord.
Okay. Episode 3.
This is our second episode.
Episode 2 of
talking about episode 3. That's not confusing at all. Okay. Bullet point number 1.
Joel's really good at stacking rocks.
Okay.
Why put that? That's gotta mean something.
Do you not know what that means?
So you laugh sarcastically, and I'm dead serious. No, I don't know what that means. Was he a stacker?
Yeah. And so he's trying to... No, man.
What's it mean?
That was a grave for Tess.
Oh. I'm stupid.
No, you're not smart.
How?
Yeah, so that was them leaving Tess, so he's icing his fucking hands.
Right.
And then he's putting that as a monument to Tess, because he lost Tess. So he finally got a chance to breathe with Ellie, not being chased by fucking runners.
Completely missed that.
Yeah, that was to Tess.
I was like, he's having fun with those rocks.
So you're a pretty like artistic guy, and you like to create. What did you think?
Autistic.
We can make that joke because we're pretty sure we're autistic.
Yeah, I wasn't joking. I was joking. I'm sorry. Proceed.
That's a very autistic. I'm on the spectrum.
And we're canceled. No, we're not.
Canceled or on the spectrum?
Let's leave it up to interpretation.
All right, because I'm on the spectrum. Yeah. So what? Give me what your thinking was behind. Like, why did they show that?
I genuinely did not know. I
just
wrote
like,
it down because I was like,
that's nice.
That's important. And the first thing you're like, yeah, it's important. And you're also dumb. But I love that. That's a cool theory.
It's not a theory.
That's awesome. I didn't even register that.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm embarrassed to read the rest of my notes.
We're gonna go through it. Second bullet point, and I can't read it, so I know if you're skipping.
They're 10 miles west of Boston. I wrote it down. Not that important. I think Joel is becoming more of a father figure to Ellie. Just the simple little note of like, she's like, "Do you want your jacket back?"
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
"No." I'm like, "They're bonding." But before I get into this, because I just like break down the episode.
Yeah.
Overall thoughts. Take it.
Okay. Blindsided. Because, again, as the structure of this podcast is for this stretch is you've only seen the show, I played the games.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, I want to interrupt, but go ahead.
Go.
Keep going.
Okay.
It'll come, I'll interrupt in probably like 30 seconds.
Sick, can't wait. So, I was looking forward to, because like, okay, when they casted Nick Offerman, I was like, okay, he's either Tommy or he's Bill. And when they announced Pedro Pascal as Joel, I'm like, okay, I don't think he's going to be Tommy then, because they're brothers. So he's going to be Bill. And they came out and they said he's Bill. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for him and Ellie's interaction. Because the whole...
Bill and Ellie's interaction?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll interrupt. How different is Bill from the video games?
Not too different. Not too different at all.
But Bill and Ellie interact in the video games.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so that's where it's different. And so the whole thing in the game is Joel and Ellie go to Bill's neighborhood to help get a battery so they can fucking get out of town and get to the Firefly's outpost. And you meet Bill because you fall into one of his booby traps. And he is just as like overly cautious and like survivalist. And he like when he sees Ellie, he's like fucking don't touch anything. They have like really good banter back and forth, like making fun of each other, harping on each other, but like you kind of think Bill like will genuinely kill this child if like she even takes
interrupts.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Their banter is great. And then you finally get deeper into the neighborhood and you see like they're fighting and Joel interrupts them, and then all of a sudden like Bill shuts up and looks behind Joel, and Joel's like, "What, do you know this guy?" And you see a hanging body. And he's like, "That was my partner, Frank."
So he was gay in the games.
They didn't explicitly say,
but it was implied.
I guess.
But you didn't see anything like what we just saw.
You had no backstory.
Bro.
No backstory. Bro. So I was blindsided.
But also, since you played the games, you're like, I am here for this.
It was one of those things when if you deviate from the source material, it was for a good reason. Because I don't speak for every person who played the game, but I wanted to know the backstory of Bill and Frank. I was like, because when he sees...
So Frank was a character.
Frank was a character that you never meet. You see his corpse.
And he was human? Like he wasn't...
He was human, but so when you meet him, like he's like, "That was my partner, Frank, the only dumbass who'd wear a shirt like that." And he cuts the rope and his body falls. And
so it could also just be like working partner.
And that's what you kind of thought too, because Bill's like, for Joel's like, I guess he didn't want to turn, and he's like, yeah, you can see he was bit there. But that's where like Bill does get choked up. He's like, got bit there, and there. Fuck him. And like,
interesting.
Yeah, and like you get a suicide note from Bill or from Frank, and Frank's like, yada 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 yada. I had to get out of here. I couldn't keep living like this. At least I died on my own, you miserable old bastard, or something like it. Like it was a. I thought my first initial was like, oh, he's gay, but I'm like, maybe partners isn't
so
that.
In the game, you kind of like it. You kind of get the impression that he might be.
Yeah, because I didn't want to jump to conclusions. So I was like, oh, he's gay.
Point being, when like obviously this whole episode's about this relationship.
Yeah.
It's not like that's so far removed. Like,
no.
What are they doing?
No.
It's like now you look back at the game, you're like, oh, okay, confirmed.
Yes.
But before we get into the meat and potatoes of that, Ellie, I want to talk about the one scene where she grabs her feminine products.
Oh, tampons.
Okay, which brings me to the theme of the episode. Which
I don't like that.
Weird segue. The little things. Enjoy the little things. / the things we take for granted. /
Oh, yes.
The girl finds a box of tampons.
Yeah.
And it is like she found $1,000.
Yeah, like score.
Sweet Moses.
Yeah.
Because I was like half watching when I was like, what'd she grab? And I saw it and I was like, oh shit.
They don't make those anymore.
Like, well, dude. We can't relate to that, but I imagine that's a very big score.
Yeah. I would imagine.
Dude, that and the way she talked about, like, oh my god, you were in a plane?
Yeah.
So it was, I wrote down the tampons, the flying, Frank showering, drinking wine, playing piano, eating strawberries. The things that we do constantly, especially the tampons. But everything else, like, what I love about this show, it's like it makes our mundane lives feel so blessed.
Yeah.
Of like, holy crap, I can eat strawberry right now if I want to. I'd barely cry.
That's not true. The plane that really stuck. Like, but he was complaining. He's like, yeah, but you're fucking stuck in.
And he nailed that because like it didn't feel special at the time.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but then she says like, you were in the sky, and like you see him kind of like, shit, that was cool. Like, right. I took that for granted.
And I just clicked fully. Like Ellie grew up in this world.
Yeah.
She doesn't know because how old is she?
She's 13.
So she has no memory
of a life before
she was born into this world.
Yeah.
Which kind of explains why she's such a hard ass.
Yeah.
She doesn't know anything else.
No.
Like when she went up to that zombie, didn't run upstairs and just like cut its face.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of endear to her. Like,
yeah.
She grew up with it.
Probably a wolf. Not a deer.
But it's like normal to her. Like for us, it's so jarring, but to her, it's like, oh, that's a mushroom head infected person. And that's like, just how it is.
I felt like she was like more curious, where she wanted to see She's like, so he is that person.
It's like they're made of like cotton. Like
mushroom.
Yeah. But also, I love the combination of the mushroom inside, like the infected, but there's still blood.
Yeah.
Which is so much worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I thought it was super creepy that she did that. And then didn't talk about it.
And didn't talk about it.
That was the scariest part. She's like,
Because
enough to see here.
I don't know if she didn't want Joel to freak out and her lose her roaming privileges or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was interesting too. Where she's like, I got tampons and there's also an infected down there, stuck in the rubble. But yeah. And then the fucking transition from the when they're looking at the bodies.
Oh,
and you had like the baby blanket.
I saw the rainbows and then transitioned to the mom and baby. And
I was like, oh,
okay.
There's no way this episode's gonna get any worse than this. Oh no!
This show gives me moments where I'm like holding my breath, going like, no. Oh no! Like they showed a baby skeleton. Like watch The Last of Us. It'll be fun. Third episode, baby skeleton.
Dude, so I watched this episode live, or not live, but when it came out on 9 o'clock.
That's live. They show it live.
And
You're dumb. So you're watching the live episode, like, what's gonna happen?
oh, commercial break!
It's live.
No, so when it dropped at 9 o'clock, me and Lizzie watched it, and it took. So she's in the same boat. She's never played the game or anything. So when she was like freaking out about this whole episode with Bill and Frank, I had to play it cool. Like I knew what was going on.
You knew
because
he was
I
gonna,
didn't want to ruin it for her.
Spoilers. You knew they were gonna die.
I knew Frank was probably gonna, but I had to pretend that I knew because she knows that I played the game, so I had to pretend that this was all normal. She's like, "Is this do they show all this in the game?" And I just straight up didn't answer her. I just like was staring because I didn't want to ruin. Like,
I really want to watch these episodes with you, but I don't know if I can. Just for that mere like you're in the know.
Yeah, but this was so different that I was like, "Oh my god!"
Okay, so this goes back to what we talked about last week, where some people will complain that it's too similar or whatever. This is not similar at all.
I haven't heard anyone complain about this episode for that reason.
I haven't heard anything about this episode. I was in space.
Dude, and so that's what brings me to the point where when me and Lindsay were watching this episode, it took everything not for me to text you. Like,
oh, dude.
Holy shit.
Texting you today. And you're like,
fucking episode. It was clawing at me. Like, and when you texted me like 2 days ago, we were like, I guess I gotta watch this episode now. Gonna be a scary whatever. I'm like, it's Nick Offerman, you'll be fine. I was like, he doesn't know. This is gonna break his
You were
heart.
right though. This episode for me, because I said last week that like the show bothers me, it creeps me out. I didn't get that this week.
No.
It was a love story.
Yeah.
With some horror elements, which by the way, the director of the show was Peter Hoare.
Really?
Which I thought was funny. Hoar?
Oh, who are? I don't know.
Who are? Which I thought I was like, this is gonna be scary! And I'm like, in this whole episode, I'm like, and then he ripped my heart out. So yeah, I think we talked about that, taking things for granted. I did like how they went into a lot of my questions that I had from the last 2 episodes, and they kind of used Elliot's exposition through Joel to be like, how did this start? Did it start with But the simple question of like, who gave the first bite? And then Joel has the scariest answer ever of like, oh, it was in all of our food probably. Yeah. And then the last I love making breakfast. And then the last thing he says, like, bread, rice, grains, pancake mix. And I was like, I'm not making breakfast.
So when he mentioned that's
I love pancakes.
I know. Oh, he loves pancakes. Hates French toast. You love toast. You're a big fan of the
French are assholes.
The French are assholes.
I make a mean French toast, and you know that.
I don't know that. I've never had your French toast. I've had your pancakes. You make great pancakes.
I make great pancakes.
Never had your French toast. But when he said that pancake mix, what was Joel supposed to have for his birthday breakfast?
Was it pancakes?
She's like, we're out of pancake mix. Then.
And that would explain why they're not. I had the thought of like, what? When she goes, are we infected? He's like, no, of course not. They could have been.
And then.
Holy shit.
Sarah didn't eat the cookies because they had raisins in it.
What?
And Joel forgot the birthday cake. They missed.
Did you?
And then she got shot.
She got shot.
She missed being infected 3 times in that 24-hour period.
When it's your time, man.
Sad.
That is a beautiful detail.
Yeah.
Holy Moses. Because that's the thought that went through my mind, is I remembered her question, are we infected? And Joel's like, of course not. But then when he said that, I was like, they easily could have been. And I was wondering, too, about the grandmother. I'm like, how does she randomly, she's not leaving the house. Like, how, and she's just chilling.
Yeah.
If she, like, ran to a zombie, like, people would know about it. How did she get infected? And then they're talking about the food. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
Because it's like things,
Bran flakes.
Dude, things happen like that. Like 3 or 4 months ago, I bought a big the biggest jar of peanut butter you can get.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basically a half.
I've seen that.
It's like comically large peanut butter. And then there was a recall. It's like if you bought peanut butter from this company within these months, don't eat it. It could make you sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like E. coli. It's like
Yeah.
no more green onions on your Taco Bell Nacho Supreme. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or Chipotle had that stuff. They do this thing where it's like real life scenarios that could in society, and I hate it. But I like how they explained it.
Yeah.
All that stuff. That was good.
Yeah.
Meat and Potatoes is the episode. We're with Nick Offerman. Luscious locks.
And oh yeah.
Quick note,
Yeah.
because we both love Parks and Rec.
Yes.
When they first showed him, he's like, "Get out of here, you
jackboot Nazi."
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like, especially the last season of Parks and Rec where he shoots the drone. I'm like,
Yeah.
If this was in the Parks and Rec universe, that would still be Ron Swanson.
Absolutely. And Ron Swanson does have a very artistic side. The piano plays.
Like it makes sense like why.
Yeah.
And that's what I know. Like he loves
Yes. Yes. And he's so happy. And then it's a big role. Especially when he gets to do like something that's not everyone's like, hey, I love Ron Swanson. Like, okay, but we both see it hard to be so when you get a little flavor of Ron in this, but so much more depth and heart.
He had to carry this entire episode, and it was episode 3. Let's just say there's some people out there, which I don't think there are, who are on the fence on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Third episode's like, it's still early on.
Yeah.
He had to nail it, and he brought the goods.
And so did the other gentleman. Apparently,
He was great too.
He's in White Lotus, and he plays like a crazy character in that. And yeah.
So obviously, again, spoilers. Frank and Bill become lovers and married and all that stuff. Sometimes when you see a relationship bloom, I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
That's how that feels. Or why are they doing that? He's in the hole, and I'm like, there was instant chemistry.
Instant.
Which was weird.
This made more sense than Rey and Kylo becoming a thing.
Which is like, that's the point I'm making.
Exactly. We're like, right, like at first when he fell into Bill's trap and Bill talked to him and stuff, there was that kind of like banter where he is like, Arby's is a restaurant, they wouldn't give free lunch away. He's like, that's not the point.
That might have saved his life.
Yeah.
He's like, this son of a bitch. He's out of line, but he's not wrong.
Yeah. And so it kind of like, he's like, all right, something about this guy, I'll feed him and then clean him and he'll leave. And then after the meal is when you're like, there's something here.
But like, again, like when he's in the, like you said, like that little banter back and forth, immediately you kind of feel something.
Yeah.
Like there's something there. There's a chemistry. Like how? Like as like a videographer, like kind of dude, like how do you portray that on screen? Where
so
they
naturally?
Dude, they had like 3 lines. You're like, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that's like Jedi mind trick expert level acting.
A lot of it is the concept, because when you're watching this show, you're in this survival horror show where you put yourself in that person's shoes and you're like, oh, you know what? Maybe he is alone. Like he's been alone for so long and he probably is used to being a loner. But when this person who makes a funny joke and isn't alarming, isn't out to kill, isn't armed at all, and has like, hey, there was like 12 of us, but it's just me. I just haven't eaten, whatever. I think something like you could.
I love that line too. Where like, I haven't eaten in 2 days. Doesn't seem that bad. Saying it out loud. We haven't eaten in 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm hungry.
I know. I'm starving.
I eat when I'm
bored. I know. The things we take for granted.
I haven't had cheese in 30 seconds.
And when he said Arby's, I was like,
how much did Arby's pay for that?
I don't know, but
Lion's Choice needs to step it up.
But they're a local chain.
They're local.
They're a local chain. Arby's worldwide, man. They got the meats.
That's a bummer.
And so did
they're infinitely not as good.
you just breeze past that. Barbie's got the knees.
No, I got
And
it.
so, okay.
Wait, no, what was your follow-up? I didn't hear that part.
And so did Bill. That's pretty good.
That's pretty. I missed it. That is good. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. But okay, so the connection though.
Can I back up before we get into that?
Right on time.
Perfect. Because we missed a huge scene of Bill before he meets Frank.
Yeah.
The fun music is playing.
Yeah.
And he's just loading up on supplies. There was something about that scene that was so satisfying. Like, who hasn't kind of fantasized about that a little bit? Of just like the world, like he wasn't scared. There weren't zombies close by. It's just like everything within a 50-mile radius is your playground.
It's like I've been preparing this my entire fucking life.
And he had the smarts to be like, I need this, I need that. He like relished it, and that's why there was like fun music playing.
Yeah.
And it was like a video game where it was like on easy mode. And it's like load up before the big bad.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was so
Here,
fun
take
to
this,
watch. Dude. It was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Especially when you watch the rest of the world where they're like Ellie's like, oh my gosh, I found a box of tampons. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yes, we'll get bombs.
Yeah.
We'll make a fence.
And then he's
we'll
like,
do
you know
this."
what? Fucking all this great necessity, I'm getting fucking wine.
He's got a wine rack. He's making steaks.
Yeah.
He cooks it. He's like, I'm amazing.
Yeah. When he's
So
watching
good.
the TV, he's like, keep going. He's like,
And
oh.
I think that's what I needed from this episode.
Yeah.
Where I'm such a scaredy cat. And then he's just like, the dude walks into it. He's like, that never gets old. Continues to eat his steak. I'm like,
Yeah.
I felt safe.
I know. Yeah.
I love that scene so much. Proceed.
So dinner or their meal, when he pours the wine. Again, I'm watching this as a person who didn't want to jump to conclusions playing the game. Like, was that a survival partner or were they gay? And so when he did the wine, he goes, a man who knows to pair a red with. I was like, oh, is he gay? And then when he's like, oh my god, piano, this, and then I'll leave. And he's like, oh, this is not you.
This is
and
not you.
I was like,
yeah.
oh, is he gay too? Like, are they? And then there is no girl.
Dude, just
and he goes, I know. Like instant like, and the world has been torn apart. Loved ones, strangers that you were near to have been torn apart, and you find someone.
Right.
How lucky.
Which they kind of had a great life.
Yeah.
It's like when you find the right person, going out's fun. All you want to do is be home.
Yeah.
Canceling plans feels amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, can't make
When
it.
my car died today, I was like, I guess we're not gonna be able to podcast. I was like, oh man, I'll get pizza delivered and I'll fucking.
I was like, I'll pick you up, bro.
No, this is fun.
It had to happen. It's episode 2.
I know. I'm
If I
very
didn't
excited to talk
pick you
about
up,
this episode. It would
podcast
never.
would be
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah.
It would have
That
stopped.
was going through my head too.
But now
I
we're
was
at episode
freaking
2.
out.
Hey, we made it to episode 2. It's important. I lost my train of thought because you hurt my feelings.
Canceling plans feels great. They
Canceling
had a great
plans.
life.
So they had like 17 years together, whatever it was.
Yeah. And see, and
That's great.
And
You can argue that's like 60 years because it's just them.
Just them. I'll leave after we play piano, and then fucking years later, they're arguing about whatever
Let's skip
shit.
over the sex scene.
Okay.
Can we talk about that slowly?
Let's
whisper it.
Okay. Okay.
It was.
So that's the thing I've seen mad about, complain about this episode, which is like fucking bonkers to me, because
The
gayness, the gay sex. They're like, yeah, I just didn't need all that, and you're like, What if it was a heterosexual couple?
I was gonna say, as a heterosexual man, my personal experience watching it, I'm cringing because I'm not into dudes.
Sure.
So I'm like,
See, for me, as a heterosexual dude, I was watching it.
You're into it.
I was like,
but again, to the point you were making, you're like, if it was a straight couple, there would be no fuss.
there would be no fuss.
Right.
It would be like, oh, that was kind of hot. But like, because people are so afraid of their sexuality, they're like, what? Ron Swanson? That's not my Ron Swanson. It's like, fuck
That's not Ron
off.
Swanson.
It's not. And that's what I love, because that character who happens to be homosexual is the not who you would suspect to be gay. He's a gun-toting, don't tread on me, survivalist. And so people watching him in that first part of that series, or part of that episode when he's gassing up and doing all that, they're like, that's me, that's fucking me.
And then you're like, oh no, I'm gay.
And then you're like, that's not me. That's what I've seen on TikTok. People like have their parents watch it and they're like, I'm sick to my stomach, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but you're the same person that watched Game of Thrones and was totally fine with the boy and the girl having sex, even though they're brother and sister. All you did was like, that's kind of fucked up. That's incest, right?
Which is way worse.
Which is way worse. These people were in love.
Yeah.
That was why I had to get that out.
Well, dude, it's funny because I saw my mom today and loved her to death.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, best human being ever.
My mom's better.
She'll probably watch this episode. Hi, Mom.
My mom's better.
And I was like, you gotta watch The Last of Us. I was explaining the premise, and she was like, I love it. And then this episode happened. I'm like, yeah, it's probably not for you.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll love it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I again, for me, not because like when you watch two people kiss, like you kind of like, or at least I do, like I insert myself.
Sure.
And I couldn't, so like it's not for me. But
Yeah.
but it's not for me.
And I think, and if that's your you know, a lot of people are like, I don't need any sexuality in my show. Like,
I disagree.
You know, and I don't think there are a lot of people, but people are hiding behind that because they're afraid of
humans. Like, it's like sex is like
candy. I don't know what that means. I just know there's a song called Sex.
I was just gonna say, why am I blanking?
I don't know.
Crash, Sex and Candy,
Crash.
Space Between, Dave Matthews.
Oh.
Dave Matthews would understand. But yeah, so you had the sex scene, whatever. And then...
And it's on March.
I had a point. Okay, so he's like a very manly man. You don't expect him to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
I think to that point, before the crisis happened, I don't think he came out. I think he was that character because he asked him, have you ever done this before? He goes, only once with a woman.
Yes.
So this is him, like, the world's gone to shit. It's like when you find out you have, like, someone has cancer, then they live their best life.
Yeah.
It's like the world's gone to shit, and now he can be free.
He's free. Then that's why he seems so happy.
Whether you're
Oh, I just fucking put that together. Like,
right?
That's why he's so happy.
He even
because
says
he's not hiding anymore.
When you see that everyone, like the world got infected, he was pumped.
Yeah.
He was like, good, I've been playing for this.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever your beliefs are,
yeah.
Like, who can't relate to that? Like,
I don't have to fake it for society.
Right.
No matter what secret you're hiding of who
Yeah.
you are, sexuality, interest, whatever, who can't relate to that? So that's why I was like so moved with
it
this
was
episode.
good. So they fall in love, and then
Mm-hmm.
the point that I keep cutting you off on was great because they have their moments, and then you think it's gonna be like this beautiful like love story, but then they nail it because they have this beautiful moment, cut, arguing. I'm like, that's a relationship.
That's a relationship.
That's perfect.
Nothing's perfect. But that was perfect in showing that nothing's perfect.
And I love that it said 3 years later where the argument still made sense and they could still be super close.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the next day where I'm like, oh,
Right.
is this an asshole? Is this bad? You know?
Yeah.
It's 3 years later, I'm like, that's just banter.
Yeah.
So good.
You think the government are Nazis? The government are Nazis!
They are now!
You see a little tinge of Ron there. Oh, it was so fucking good. And it was all about because they wanted to change like the street and stuff. Just like simple like couples arguing about how to decorate the family room or something. It was just like
And then, talking about cuts, we get that cut, which was great. And then it cuts again. I think it was like a simple pan shot, and they're like, oh my god, Joel's there.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Yeah.
It's our main character, and it felt like a reveal.
I know. To go to your point.
Peter Hoare directed the shit out of this.
Yeah. To your point where you're like, that Nick Offerman had to nail this. That when your main character shows up and it feels like a reveal, you're like, Nick Offerman fucking nailed this, because I was fine without our two main characters.
Totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
This
I was like, this is my new thing.
This was the Bill show.
Yeah, 100%. And which, again, did not see it coming. When I was like, oh, they're going to show Bill's background and we'll get to see them, go through the neighborhood with Ellie and Joel.
My mind canon is that Joel and Ellie would approach this guy, and he's like, I've been by him. Have you ever seen War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise, where they slightly come across Tim Robbins?
I've seen Scary Movie 5 that referenced it.
Same thing.
Okay.
So, you'll get this.
Sorry.
I thought they just come across him randomly, and he was like, I've been on my own, whatever. I've got a shelter.
Yeah. No.
No. This is so different than I thought we'd get with Nick Offerman.
And they know, Joel and Bill know each other in the show or in the game too. They're like, because that's why they go there. They're like, we're gonna go to Bill. He's a little cautious, but he'll help us out. He owes me or something, and then that's whatever. But man, so yeah, you get the 3-year jump, and then Tess and Joel come out.
Tess is back.
So Tess and Joel. So that was when Tess died. That was 14 years before, I think. So they were together for 14 years. So that emphasizes her death, right?
Quick note about that. Obviously, Joel's a lot older. I saw him with Tess, and it's like Joel's a very handsome, Pedro Pascal-like man.
Daddy.
And then I see him with Tess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're probably the same age, but in my mind, I'm like I thought.
Did you think he was still older, much older?
I thought she was older. I thought
really?
She looked older. Yeah. Obviously, I'm dead wrong. They do the flashback, and she's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's beautiful, of course, in the first 2 episodes. But when you see her 20 years younger, I'm like, oh, they were. I wasn't convinced that they were
still early on in the.
They were a couple.
Yeah.
They had a relationship. They had a life. They were a thing.
Yeah.
And then that brings, I want to rewatch the first 2 episodes, that brings so much more weight to the ending of episode 2, where he's just like, see ya. And just, says good, doesn't even say goodbye. Just deuces.
Yeah. Was able to find somebody in the apocalypse for 14 years to make some kind of sense of the world. And then that person gets bit.
Do you think apocalypse relationships are hotter than today's relationships?
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you appreciate life more?
Appreciate life more, sex has to be better.
It's gotta be better, right? Because if you do it today, it's a given.
It's a given.
But if it's the apocalypse, we could die tomorrow.
Let's fuck. I'm hard thinking about it, dude.
But seriously, it's gotta be stronger.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess.
I haven't had.
Sex.
I never.
We don't gotta go into it.
I was gonna say I haven't been through an apocalypse, but yeah, I'm a virgin.
I guess we're talking about it.
I did it once with a woman.
Can I make you dinner?
I only like duck and strawberries.
Look at my notes.
Yeah. So you had.
Love the quick line here. Older means that we're still here.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm aging more than you. Older means we're still here. We're relatively young.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. The past 2 months, I feel like life just moves so fast.
Yeah.
So you feel, it hurts another birthday. You're getting older. I understand we're still young, but it still moves fast. Whatever. Love that quote.
Yeah.
Because that puts it in perspective. If you're feeling like you're 50, 60, 80, whatever, you're getting older, it's you're still here.
It means you're still here.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful quote.
Neil Druckmann's a fucking fantastic writer. He nails the human psyche connection so fucking good. Yeah, that line stood out to me too. I was ooh. because and I'm guessing Bill is older than Frank, and so like when they're running and stuff.
Right. Cause I think I'm pretty sure they're the same age.
Yeah.
But I think they probably maybe 10, 15 years older.
Yeah, probably 10. Yeah. Because and spoilers. I mean this whole podcast spoilers. I don't feel like we need to keep saying that. But when Bill and Frank pass away, I think Nick Offerman's old age makeup is heavier, older.
Right.
I mean, Frank's definitely aged too, but I feel like they
like,
did make
cancer, I think up that.
Yeah.
Which, again, the director, Peter Hoare here, the way before the
Peter Hoare
here, the PH, that was lame.
It was not funny.
Was that necessary? That wasn't funny. The cut to it, where their house is getting raided on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That Joel predicted, and it happens, of course. And first off, when Bill's out there, he's like, why didn't he open?
What does he get? And telling Frank to get back inside.
He had 3 years to prepare for this. I'm gonna stand in the middle of the street. That kind of bothered me.
Bothered you? See, I was like, that's badass. Because that's how confident he was of all his fucking booby traps. He's like,
yeah, that's a good point.
And he's like, I'll take care of the stragglers.
Because to your point, everyone he was shooting at was on fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, get a better shot.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then he even referenced that when Frank rescues him and takes him inside and to stitch him up, he's like,
yeah, but to my point, he got shot. So
he got clipped, but he's like, you'll be fine. The other traps will take care of the rest of them, and they'll burn. He's not even worried. He's like, he's more worried when I die, take Joel. Joel.
Because they're gonna live for sure, because they're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go back to you're right.
Yeah.
But the point I was making is Frank is carrying Bill, and then a minute later you see Bill carrying Frank inside. That simple flip that happens in, let's say, 2 minutes explains the next 20, 10 years, whatever, of a relationship development.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
Beautiful.
It's like a back and forth. It's I'll take care of you, you take care of me. You think Bill might have died. No, he didn't. He made it, but now he's taking care of Frank. You basically, in this one episode, a movie length, 80 minutes, you see an entire life and you feel like you've seen it all.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
I didn't want it to end. I was like, oh my God. I again, someone who played the game, I was so pleased with this episode because I didn't see it coming.
Right.
If they were beat by beat, then yeah, that would be kind of boring. But when you get so much expansion on this, when they cut from Bill being stitched up by Frank,
right,
and it goes to black screen, I'm like, they're deviating so much that are they gonna kill Bill off? And Joel,
yeah,
is Joel gonna meet Frank instead,
right,
or and even Lindsay's like, oh my God, is this where he dies? I'm like, I don't think so because Frank's the one you meet who's dead. I didn't say it to her, but
in that moment, and what I'm about to say will make sense because they were in different places. Right. I thought Bill was gonna die, and then Frank was gonna live. That opening scene where Ellie kind of why are they showing this zombie? I go, oh my God, that's Frank. I thought for a moment, I'm like, they're she heartlessly, or maybe it was out of mercy, but she's it was this random kind of close.
Yeah.
She kills the zombie. Why do they show that? That was a weird scene. She never talks about it. I'm like, are we gonna learn about this backstory about this zombie, and I'm gonna fall in love with this zombie, and it's gonna go back and shows how because it's how they always say oh, that was a human, whatever. But you're it's a zombie.
It's a zombie, yeah.
Then you go this whole episode fall in love with this person, and then show it's oh, that was him. And then she kills him like that. I thought that's where they were going, and I was not prepared for that.
That would have been great, but
I should be a writer.
But Ellie has never been outside the QZ. That's why so she would never have met Frank and stuff to know that was Frank to mercy kill him.
No, that's my point though. Like she did, it was to her.
Oh, it was just another thing, and then Joel would come down and be like,
I thought for a second,
oh shit,
they were going to tell this, like, show this zombie killing. Like, it was kind of didn't make sense. It's like, why did they do that?
Yeah.
And then show this whole story.
I didn't even have it.
And then it was full circle of like, that was Frank, and she just, oh my god.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Thankfully, they didn't do that because, of course, the ending they did was way better. But
yeah,
for a second there, I was like biting my nails, like, please don't do that.
Are we gonna brush past the strawberry scene?
I think we did.
Because that was before he got the news that he has cancer.
Right. Okay. Strawberries. That was even in my title.
I mean, that was pure bliss.
Yeah.
It's
like golden hour.
Golden hour.
Shot beautifully.
They're exercising together, and he surprises them with strawberries, and it's like fucking the best Christmas morning you ever had. And he hasn't even taken a bite at this point, and he is like fucking speechless.
Hats off again to Nick Offerman. It's like, all right, take a bite of this strawberry, and it's the best thing you've had in your entire life. Like, it brings him to tears.
Yeah, I think that was Nick's real laugh.
It was.
It has that high pitch, like
the Ron Swanson.
It like that's
good.
pure joy. That was pure joy, and just I never thought too many strawberries would tear me apart. And it fucking, you're getting glassy-eyed right now.
Strawberries are delicious. Well, it's like in this episode, like food, wine, and strawberries. I'm like, this food looks amazing.
Yeah. Like that when he does the little plate turn too. I'm like, ooh, I like that.
Both times. Like, this episode has so many callbacks.
Mm-hmm.
When they first meet, he's like, plate turn, and then the Last Supper, plate turn. I was like, okay.
And it's the same meal.
I missed that.
It's the same meal. The first.
They knew it was the same wine.
It was the first. It was the duck and the peppers. The first meal they shared together was their last.
I miss so much. Strawberries was amazing. It was heartbreaking.
But I do like how they were able to cut it with they had the comedy scenes with, because you get comedy out of Bill and Ellie in the game. Right. But instead you get that with Bill and Frank, where they have the argument and like the Nazis and stuff, and then when they're at lunch with Joel and Tess, and the first line is, "Can you not?" And it shows open shot, and he has the gun at the table, because that's the Bill you know in the game. Like,
gotcha.
That's the overly cautious fucking psychopath.
And I love Joel's response. Can you get that gun out of my face?
Yeah.
So good.
But Joel's like, also like, I get it. Like, I know, but like, we're not shit people, you know. So I love that they were able to expand on that and be able to cut those dramatic moments with a little humor.
Right.
This
episode, like, wasn't fun, but it had so many fun moments.
Yes.
Like, I didn't enjoy the first two episodes where I'm it didn't put me in a good mood.
Sure.
There's moments of this episode where I could have ate my food and been like, yeah, it's kind of there's fun moments.
Yeah.
Overall.
Yeah.
I could have eaten during this episode.
All right,
that's a big deal.
Let's make a marker. Like, see how many episodes
Could you
of this
eat during this episode? No. This one?
I could eat.
I could eat. The way he describes how he wants to die, and then Nick Offerman just breaking down. It's like, whatever you're into, you watch that and you totally you're invested. Yeah. That is a real relationship, and it was heartbreaking.
I've had a lot of bad days with you. Or no, I've had a lot of bad days.
And I thought you were talking about me. I was like, what? Okay, this is taking a weird turn.
I got strawberries. I had a lot of bad days, and some of them were with you, but I've had a lot of good days, mainly with you.
Most with you.
So give me one more good day.
He describes this stupid, perfect day, and he ends it with, and then we get married. It's like, okay. And then it shows all that happening. And then, well, first he declines it.
Yeah.
Then he's like, do you love me?
Didn't let me.
Then what? How does he phrase it?
Didn't love me the way I want you to.
Right. I couldn't imagine taking Sarah and then her telling me, like, this is my last day. Like, you just insert yourself into these situations.
Mm-hmm.
Devastating.
Yeah.
God, it's just... And then, okay, so it proceeds. And I thought the first glass of wine was the one with the pills, but it wasn't.
Hold on.
Okay.
They...
so sassy.
Well, this is a big part where, like, it stood out for me, was that they got married. This happened in 2003. Gay rights legislation wasn't a thing.
Right.
It wasn't
This
legal.
took place in 2023, right? When they got married?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
or 2022. They might have been there for a year at that point.
That stuff never happened.
But
right.
They never saw their people get those basic human rights to marry and love. And they're like, fuck it, we're doing it anyways. It's the end of the world. This is the end of one of us. We're getting fucking married.
Because, like,
and that...
like today, like, I just took it as we're getting married. That's sweet.
Because it's on, yeah.
But it was heavier than that.
It's heavier than that because, like I said, the world stopped in 2003.
Think about that. Dude, that's the
Gay marriage was illegal.
That's this thing the show does, is I forget the world stopped at that point.
Yeah.
And then you gotta, like, take it from that perspective. That's a good insight.
So, yeah. I love that. But yeah, so then cuts to dinner, does the plate turn, the wine.
They drink the wine. I thought the first glass was the one that killed him. I'm like, he's really enjoying that. That's weird.
Yeah.
And then he brings out the second one. I'm like, okay, he's doing it. And he chugs it down. I'm like, oh, gosh.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine doing that. You know that's your last thing. And then Bill drinks his fast in the same fashion.
That's my point.
And I go, oh no.
Yeah.
Like the way he drank it, I'm like, he did it too.
Yeah, he's like,
oh.
There was already pills in the... Because you see him crush to put the pills in Frank's drink.
Right.
And then he does the chug too. And you're just like... And you're like... And Frank just calmly like...
He knows.
There was already pills in the wine. He goes, enough to put down a horse. And you're just like... And then Frank does the most like just, he's like, I should be mad. That's kind of romantic. And you're just like, that's Bill. You have been with these characters for maybe 45 minutes. And you're like, that's so Bill and Frank.
That's so Bill.
Because they those actors in the writing just did such a fucking
Bill and Frank, man.
Job.
They're BFs.
Best friends. Shit. Did you watch the episode?
Yeah. That was an amazing insight.
They're really close friends.
We're like best friends. They're more than that. He was like tickling them. Okay, missed the whole thing. This friendship's kind of gay. Because that's borderline our friendship.
It is.
I'm just insanely confused. Like they're really taking this a step further.
Them eating strawberries was shot for shot. You and me eating the Mexican pizza for the first time when it came back from Taco Bell. Just a.
Yes.
But okay, to go back to the very heartbreaking scene, the whole speech when he's like, I lived a good life and you were my purpose.
Yes. Okay. That scene directly correlates. So when they get the letter, and he explains to Joel, I thought I was happy when this all happened, but then I realized my purpose was to save this person. Joel's officially on his mission.
Yeah.
Like that. If you didn't believe last week was his push, this was it.
What I took it as, when they get to the house and they find the letter and he's saying all those nice things about, I found my purpose, and that's why men like us exist, to protect,
God help the people that get in our way.
Yeah.
Love that line.
Love that line. And also, we brushed past the fucking great Ron Swanson line. I'm assuming I'm assuming it's you, Joel. Because someone else would die in my traps. Like the little.
Yes, that was great.
That was perfect.
Ellie nailed that.
Ellie nailed that.
I don't know the actress's name, do you?
I know her as Lady Mormont from Game of Thrones.
She was in Game of Thrones?
Yeah, she's in like the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
She's like one of the only great parts about the last 2 seasons. Like she fucking, when they announced her as Ellie, I was like, perfect. Let's fucking go.
Love it.
But when I took it as, when he's reading that, Joel was thinking of his failures. Of
100%.
He just lost Tess.
100%.
Because they showed it was the couple and the couple. It was Tess and Joel having lunch with Bill and Frank. They finally met other people that weren't complete shitheads in the end of the world, and
he recognized that.
Bill just passed away with his. And Joel failed Tess. And so he's like looking like just in the distance while like Ellie's reading this, and he's just like, and then he even like name drop, or what you assume says Tess.
It does.
Yeah, that's right. They do the zoom in.
Yeah.
And just that's when I think you see not like. When to disagree with you, like he's on the mission now. He's softening a little bit.
You think it's like a step in that direction?
It's a step in that direction because when they get in the car, he does the seatbelt move, the dad, and you're like,
it's like the mom arm,
and you're like,
right,
here it is, finally. Joel's gonna let her in, break down the wall a little bit and let her in. And another great thing was like, she's like, I've never been in a car before, and so she's like, seatbelt, and he's like, that, and she's like, oh my god, it's like a rocket ship,
right?
And that line, don't know if they meant to, but there's a really fucking heavy, beautiful scene in the second game where Joel takes Ellie. It's like a flashback. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything.
Cool point.
But without being too cryptic, the spaceship line holds weight. Holds weight.
It's a great line.
Not that there's a real spaceship in the show, because that would be
I'm gonna be so disappointed.
But
did you see the sticker on her backpack? Yeah, man, totally paid off. But just do that, like the things we take for granted. She was in a crappy car. It's like today's society is like, if you don't have a Bugatti or Ferrari, like you're a loser. She was in a truck.
Yeah.
And her brain exploded.
Yeah.
It's the shit that like life's hard, but when you try to look around like what do I have and try to like cherish it, this show nails that.
Yeah.
Like we have wine, big deal.
Mm-hmm.
We have food, big deal. Strawberries, big deal. You've been in a plane, big deal.
Shower.
A shower.
Yeah.
Big deal.
Playing piano.
Big deal. I had to take 3 flights this week, and every one of them I was like, ugh.
I couldn't wait for it to be over.
This sucks. I have a layover. This sucks. And I heard this quote recently that's like, if you've flown in a plane, you like the human race. I don't know if I talked about this last week or not, but it's like you're in the 1% of 1% of humans who has ever seen the Earth from that perspective. Let's say humans have been around for, I don't know, just say
20 years.
20 years, 60,000 years, whatever it is. We've only been flying for 100. So when you go on a plane,
damn,
you are like 1%, 1%, 1%, 1% of humans who have had that bird's eye view.
And everyone dreads it. They're like,
and we're like, oh,
I got to the airport early.
You're on a ginger ale. Like you. Like,
yeah.
We get to have, we drink alcohol
in the sky.
And we essentially time traveled. I'm in Ireland, and 8 hours later, I'm in America. But I had to wait, like, whatever.
Yeah, they do a good job of just showing the human experience.
Shit, like, that blew her mind, especially someone who grew up in that time. And then, like, now she's in a truck, and that blows her mind.
And see, I was panicking this entire episode because this is the episode in the game where the car battery that Joel and Ellie are looking for, it's the same in the show and in the game, they're looking for the car battery, that's why they go to Bill. And Bill's like, we're all fucking shit out of luck, you gotta go to the high school. You go to the high school, that's where you meet your first bloater. So I'm terrified this entire episode.
You talked about the bloaters last
Yeah,
time.
and I was like...
Still have no idea what a bloater is.
So you got the runners, which is the first stage of infected.
They run fast.
You got, I think they're called like stalkers or something. You can kind of have some growth on them. Then you get the clickers, who've been infected for a year or more.
Are those the most popular of all of them?
No, the runners were probably the most popular.
Mm.
And then you got the bloaters. Then you got the shamblers. And then you got the rat king. Rat kings are fucking like infected that are like stuck together.
What?
Yeah, it's disgusting. But...
Oh, it's not true. Kevin broke these down for me.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Our friend Kevin?
We essentially just said what you just said. I just remember.
Cool.
Sorry.
No. That was important.
Inner
So
monologue.
I was waiting for that. Like, they're gonna go to high school and they're gonna go
right
because like that was a terrifying part of the game. And then when you get the truck with Ellie, you kind of what we had to do today. You had to jump the fucking car. And so you jump it, but like you had to get the engine going. So you're outside of the vehicle. You're pushing the truck, and Ellie's like keeps trying to like get it, starting. And while the car is making noise, fucking infected come out of the neighborhood.
Oh,
and so
geez.
you have to fucking like you fucking trying to get this fucking truck moving. You have to break away to fucking shoot a bunch of fucking infected clickers. And then like I was dreading that moment, but the TV show was like, buckle up, we're out of here. Like,
that was beautiful. And in the song, you probably didn't catch this. The song in the car, same as the piano.
What?
And I love when Frank was playing it. Not horrible. But like a little fast.
Yeah.
A little like as far as Apocalypse go, I'm like, this is probably the best musician alive.
Yeah.
Probably. But then Bill brings the goods.
And and you could tell like it's important to Bill too. He's like, no, not this song,
We're gonna do the stripped, slow down version.
And I was like, what? It just meant so much to him.
But that was the same song in that truck.
You sure?
So the way that Peter Hoare wraps us all up.
Peter Hoare.
They leave, it's the song, it's like, alright, full circle. No, he's not done yet. The last shot of the show is going to be from the window of Peter and Frank. As it pulls out, you see the truck, and it's in that window that's
Bill
open.
and Frank.
Is it Peter and Frank?
Yeah.
Sorry, Peter. Bill and Frank, through the window, from when they last were with each other. Like, this is master level directing.
And
it's so good.
So that's heavy on itself, okay? Like, beautiful on itself. The open window with sunlight coming through is the menu for the video game. So when I saw that shot, I was like,
wait, what?
Yeah, here, I'll show you. You can keep talking, but that's the menu screen for Last of Us, the video game.
Why? Is it just an open window?
It's like an open window, and you see like vines, and it's just like.
No way.
Yeah.
So obviously you instantly thought of that.
Yeah, I was like, I was the Leo DiCaprio meme was like the.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Shut up.
Here, let me pull it up. It's right here.
So he did basically. He did the whole episode leading to
That's
that
the menu screen.
Dude.
That you see every time you boot up the game. And I was like, I'm like, surely they're gonna incorporate this in somehow in the TV show. 2 episodes in, I'm like, I guess they're not doing it. And they're like, oh, they're doing it!
Creepy, but hopeful.
Yeah. Like,
that's what this show is. It's like devastating, but then it's like,
I think that's the.
But hopeful.
That's the message. It's like, even in the worst of times, like, love
That was the episode.
survives. Yeah.
Episode 3, I think was my favorite episode.
Mine too. I
love the first episode, and every episode so far has gotten better, so I'm
Yeah.
very curious.
They're in Pittsburgh next episode.
It's gonna suck.
This is my, like, every time I go.
Is it gonna be a scary one? It's gonna be a scary one. I probably shouldn't eat.
I think it's gonna be more thrilling than scaring. Because like now it's like an ongoing thing for like survival horror TV shows, video games. The worst thing in the apocalypse isn't the zombies, it's humans.
Right.
So Pittsburgh is
Worst humans.
It's the whenever I boot up the game, I'm like, you know what, I haven't played Last of Us in a while, but I don't want to start all over again. I'll just reload the Pittsburgh chapter because it's just fucking like how it starts is just from like, oh fuck, like it's just so fucking, it's fun and it's terrifying and it's scary and it's
Is it mainly human?
and then I just remembered what happens. Because after Pittsburgh, it's winter. If you see
Winter is coming.
If you see snow, like in like previews of the next episode, and they show like snow, get ready to be fucking bummed.
This whole show's a bummer.
But hopeful.
But hopeful. I'm looking forward to it. Next week we'll do episode 4.
Yep.
Assuming. And then hopefully we'll do this podcast long enough where we'll make it to the Mario movie in April.
When does the Mario movie come out?
In April. April 6th or 7th, something like that. Early April.
Okay.
We made it to episode 2.
Mid episode 2.
Episode 2.
Technically, it's our 3rd episode because we had the practice episode.
With a practice episode.
That just turned into us eating Taco Bell.
Which is pretty fun.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. This episode probably shouldn't have happened. You said your car broke down. Sarah got home late. You hear the kids having baths. But we're making it
I had a
happen.
huge headache too. I still kind of do, but yeah,
It's good.
it's not good.
Your headache's not good. We did.
We did
It
it.
happened.
We did what most people don't do. We're 1%. We're like flying in the air.
We're not in the 1% until we hit episode 20. And I think that statistic is wrong. The one I keep hearing now is 70, I think it's 75% of podcasts that start up in a year fail. Like they don't make it a full year.
50% of the shots. What's in this?
You're on your way to a great Michael Scott quote.
I couldn't remember what it was. You miss 50% of the shots you don't take. Michael Scott, Wayne Gretzky, or Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott. That's his quote. Yeah. Why are you looking at me like that? Like you're in a little bit. You didn't say no.
I was like,
Yeah, right.
That's crazy talk. Yeah, it's good. It's like whatever the percentage is, 80% or no, it's 100% of the shots you don't take don't go in. Wayne Gretzky and Michael Scott.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because if you don't take a shot, you have a 100% chance of it not going in. Why would it be 50% of the shots you don't? Do your logic. 50% of the shots you don't take still go in. That's why I was looking at
I live a blessed life.
you. Was figuring it out.
I just chill.
Half the shots you don't take work out. Why are you looking at me weird? I don't know. It's like when you first started that quote, you're like, I have to math.
Yeah.
So you failed.
I
thought that so many times.
So I think this season is 8 episodes. It got renewed for season 2 for sure.
I think you said 10, so it's only 8.
Is it 10?
I could have just made that up, but 8 makes me feel so much better.
It's around there.
It's gotta be, because these episodes are long.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting what happens to this podcast after we don't have this.
Well, I think
Because I don't want to be a Last of Us podcast.
No, this is a pop culture. We talk about things that we'd like to talk about.
Yeah.
So, Last of Us, Star Wars, Mario, video games, music,
We can.
tacos.
Okay. Should we sprinkle in some of those episodes between these Last of Us clips so people like when say that the listeners listening or watching right now, they're like, oh, this is really cool. But then they find out, like, oh, we're at the end of Last of Us. They're like, okay, they're talking about fucking Blink-182 now? Fucking losers. Delete.
I think it's gonna take us a while to find our niche or what exactly this is.
Yeah.
So like what this is right now is like we're gonna start
This is going to be
until it feels right.
25 episodes from now. This could be totally different.
It could be totally different, you know?
Okay, because I want to talk about M.a.d. Quantumania whenever that comes out.
Yes. Dude, you get your tickets now. And I did not know that.
Yeah.
Do you-
Pre-order tickets is
Do
the
you,
thing.
do you have your tickets?
No.
You want to get some strawberries?
I kind of promised Zach.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, it's
You
not a
get some
joke.
strawberries? I kind of promised Zach.
I promised another man.
It shouldn't hurt as much as it does.
We're all in relationships with women, but we're very gay.
It's the most accurate thing I've ever said.
100%. Because I know that when we went to see Spider-Man, I was like, oh, cool, yeah, I got us tickets. Just a heads up.
He's your Marvel buddy.
Just a heads up, Zach, come here, like, really?
And Sarah's like, I'm with you too. And I'm like, yeah. But...
Yeah.
Oh, this died? Or did I not turn it on?
It was on. I saw the blue.
Right? Must be low on battery.
Cool.
We may not have audio.
Alright, let's end it to find out.
No. Actually, if not, that one's a backup, so we're good. The audio just might sound a little different, but whatever. We still got to hook up this microphone.
I only have one this week, so.
We're gonna get better at it. Yeah, let's talk about the podcast, what we'd like it to be. I think just pop culture right now. If I had to nail it right now, it's what me and you decide what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
But in the realm of like movies, video games, and pop culture stuff.
People that other people mostly enjoy too.
Nerd culture.
Nerd culture. Yeah.
We're on this Last of Us kick.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We'll hit Mario. We'll hit Ant-Man.
what do you? Yeah. So let's roughly plan the rest of the year.
Okay.
What are some of the just properties you're looking forward to for the rest of the year?
Mario. Ant-Man.
Are you looking forward to Mario?
I am.
Hell yeah.
I'm more forward to looking
Will you see it in theaters?
because of this podcast. I will. If this podcast wasn't a thing, I would not. I would.
Fair enough.
I love Sonic, and I didn't even see Sonic in theaters.
That's fair.
So, but I'm excited to see how excited you are and what your takeaway is going to be from that.
I'm embarrassed
because I know
how much I'm gonna love it.
But maybe if it.
Could suck.
I'm excited to hear your thoughts. So when you do see it, if we don't see it together,
Yeah.
don't text me about it. Don't even do your little thing like, fine, if I can't talk about it, I'll do it in gifts. Don't do that. I want to come in fucking not knowing your reaction to the film. Don't even post it on Facebook.
Not even Facebook?
Not even Facebook.
Dude, but like so many ants are on Facebook.
It's true. You can do Facebook.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we do Mario. Before that, we have Ant-Man,
Ant-Man.
Quantumania, Flash movie,
Flash.
or
Shazam.
Shazam's first.
Yeah.
And then Flash. Whenever the new Blink album drops, I think we should have
Gotta
that.
do a Blink one.
Yeah.
We're obviously huge Blink fans.
Yes.
That was our favorite band in high school.
And now.
And how?
Um,
We should do a album breakdown review.
I would love that.
100%.
We already do that whenever we're in a Blink mood or whatever music mood. We'll text each other like, "What's your top 3 tracks?"
We should make a quick TikTok thing, like whatever the album is, like we rank them. We do it like in 5 minutes, and then we should do a deep dive of like, let's talk about the record.
Yes.
Hopes, expectations. And
Yeah.
right off the bat, the single, love it. Way
Love
more than the record.
Yes. Yes.
Love that idea. Paramore has a new record coming out. I wouldn't mind talking about that.
I could do that.
Singles so far have been fantastic.
Yeah, I do like that. Yeah, I'm not a
Especially the new
huge. I know the Paramore songs that everybody knows. I don't know a lot of the other deep cuts, but what I've heard from their last, because you and Sarah got me to listen to their last album, the Hard Times or whatever.
Yeah.
That
so
whole
good.
album's fucking like
Great.
And it's the couple singles that we've heard so far, I'm like, oh, this is fucking really good. Really good.
So we do album reviews, other movies. I know there's a ton of movies coming out.
There's a ton of movies coming out.
I'm spacing.
Well, I mean, my head goes to a lot of the Marvel shit, so
Yeah.
I don't want to burn people out too, but I'm gonna want to
Burn them out, man. This podcast is for us.
That's true.
I just hope, I want us to talk, unwind on a Friday, have a couple drinks, and then hopefully people can just hang out with us.
It'd be cool.
You know? You know what I'm looking forward to? You know what the mission is?
Tacos.
First subscriber.
Ooh.
We live in a world, officially, where we will get 1 subscriber.
Your mom's.
Besides her.
My mom. She
Besides him.
She doesn't know how to subscribe.
Then we're gonna have our first subscriber.
Yeah.
Not non-family related. And whoever that is, we should do something for that person.
Take him pasta house.
That's way too big.
Fazoli's?
Perfect. Way too big. Fazoli's. Perfect.
Hit the drive-through. Anyways, thanks for subbing.
Why didn't you guys just get me subs? First subscriber
Gets a Subway punch card.
we're gonna send you a pre-used Subway punch card.
So we had to buy sandwiches?
Non-punched.
Thank you.
We're gonna send them. Wait, do Subway? Is that an actual thing?
Sandwiches?
Subway.
I don't mean to freak you out, but yeah. What? Oh, the punch card? I don't know. I think at one point in the 90s it
What's something
was.
super lame? We could send the first subscriber if they made it this far and click subscribe.
A Subway gift card.
That's too much. It's
Subway punch card.
first person.
What's? I mean,
I got it.
So it has to be lame, but not.
But not awesome.
Oh, so lame.
First person to subscribe gets a Subway gift card with nothing.
That's too much.
With not done with nothing on it.
That sucks.
Yeah. They just.
No.
All right, let's blow them out of the water.
No. So like a sub costs like $5 to whatever.
First person to subscribe
Gets a gift card for $4, so they can't
just
buy
under full
a
sum.
sandwich.
How much does a foot long cost? It's like $6.37, but make it for $5.
Yeah. Or like to the exact change, like $6.36.
First person to subscribe
Mhm.
gets a Subway gift card just shy of 1 foot long.
Yeah.
Or 6 inch. Should we be assholes, man?
Yeah. We are to each other usually, so why not be assholes to random strangers who took the time to
Watch her.
subscribe? Like,
Let's be real.
oh, you know what? These guys are cool. I'm gonna subscribe. We're like, fuck you.
Best case scenario, 5 people have made it this far.
Yeah. Worst.
Very low chance anyone subscribes. So if they do it, you get a gift card that is just shy of 1 foot long sub. Deal?
Deal.
I'll bill you.
A gentleman's agreement.
Huzzah! This was fun.
Yeah.
Even though we still have much to improve on, I felt more comfortable.
Yeah, I feel better this time too.
Cool.
But yeah, album reviews and movie reviews.
I love that idea. Music,
And
movies,
stuff.
video games, sub sandwiches. Or should it be Arby's, since that's on topic?
I like Arby's. I know people like use that as like a joke punchline. I don't love it, but I like it. I don't know why I got defensive there.
I said
Because
I don't love it, okay? Why do you keep pushing that on me?
Because I love Lion's Choice. I like Arby's. Bye.
We're gonna stick to Subway because it's closer to my house and less effort. Cool?
I already said bye. This episode's over.
Subway gift card, the first person that's not my mom to subscribe, or my brother Jimmy,
It's your dad.
or my dad. I love your glasses. I love your jean jacket. I'm gonna buy one soon.
I love your hats.
Thank you. It's
Not
a butter
fan of
hat.
the shirt.
That's black t-shirt.
Not a fan.
I'm gonna buy new hats. Last week was mobile. This one's a butter hat because I thought it was funny.
What's my thing? What should be my thing?
You got like one. Why don't we just go buy your thing?
That's fucked up. But I want to do something every episode. If you get to do everything, something new every episode.
You do like...
Oh, no, a new pin? No, because in the summer it's going to get hot. I'm not going to want to wear the jacket. But wearing a piece, man.
Yeah.
So I could do a new pin every week.
Hey, let it come. We'll find our niche.
That's my trick hat. I never come. Bye.